Look, I get it. Football Manager is just a video game. And I shouldn't let myself get all worked up over what happens based on this simulation that takes place on my computer over here to my left and on the monitor in front of me. That being said, it absolutely does, because I am absolutely invested in what happens. We are entering season number 8 of our Journeyman save in FM24, and this is when I get the most nervous because we're about to start a new season, and we have absolutely no idea if all the work we've put in the 3 months between the end of last season and now are going to pay off at all. And welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday. It is episode number 65 of Bottom to the Top. I'm Mr. Cellophane. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and you are ready for Fulham football in the Premier League once again. Been a yo-yo team, up in 26, down in 27, up in 28, back down in 29, and now in 2030, we are once again in the Premier League again. We won back-to-back championship titles in the 2 years we were in the championship. So we're obviously doing something right. We made massive changes. We had a record-breaking transfer window. You saw most of it. Jadon Sancho finally leaving, £67 million. It's the most we've ever gotten for any player. But we were not done. We actually completed, since the last episode, we completed the sale of 21-year-old Isaiah Fitzpatrick, realizing he's very good physically, but his talent was just never going to catch up to where we needed him to be in the Premier League. £6 million we got from him. We sold him to Saudi Arabia, to Al-Tai. And aside from a few other development loans, we do have one more major outgoing. It is Jurgen Strand-Larsen. At least we hope he's outgoing. For the second straight season, we were unable to find an actual buyer for Strand-Larsen, so he is out on loan to Boa Vista. They're going to be paying $21,000 a week for the privilege, some money whether he plays or doesn't play as far as a monthly fee, with optional future fees totaling $34.5 million. We were able to negotiate a few other offers, some with less money now, others with more money later, but ultimately Strand-Larsen chose Boa Vista. Hopefully this one sticks, because when he comes back, he'll be 31. We've got a whole ton of young strikers that have already taken his place, including Gudjonsson, who's only a couple of years his junior, but in our opinion has already surpassed him. So Jurgen Strand-Larsen, we don't want you anymore. Please stay away. Last episode, we did sign a new goalkeeper for $30 million to take over for Kovacevic. Conversation with him could have gone worse. It also could have gone much better, but hey, at least he is still for now in the fold as our backup goalkeeper. Now, Alex Guest we brought on because Harvey Vale and Daniil Denisov on either side, while very good players, are not elite. We wanted to make sure that we had somebody else in here that has the potential to really be a stalwart at the Premier League level, and we feel that could be Alex Guest. We got him from Wolves, 22 years old, cost us £33 million. We kind of had money to burn, to be perfectly honest with you. He is a physical specimen at 6 foot tall, 169 pounds. He has a ton of speed. He's decent when he's got the ball. His crossing ability is okay. He's much more defensively minded, but he's also just a body, a presence that is going to make guys on the wing think twice, and I believe he's going to be getting the start against the Saints. Haven't quite decided that yet. But speaking of superior physicality, we went out and got 21-year-old French national Melvin Costa from Ipswich. Obviously, Ipswich was relegated from the Premier League last year. He had a relegation transfer fee of £18.75 million. And even though we don't play with wingers, we could not pass up such a bargain. He's got in his contract a release clause for Champions League sides of £72 million. So at worst, we have him for the year, and he scores a bunch of goals with his tremendous speed, his beautiful determination, his good work rate, his passing ability being all right, and his technical. Okay, can't really finish, but, finishing isn't the be-all and end-all of a quality striker, which is where we are retraining him, by the way. So probably the days are numbered for Gudjohnsen, because Burford can play up there, Guerrero can play up there, Melvin Costa can play up there. We signed another young striker that we talked about in the last episode. So tons of options, and now Gudjohnsen is like fourth or fifth. But yeah, Melvin Costa, nothing but upside for us. He's definitely going to be in there against Southampton. Honestly, our side is a little bit more bloated than I thought it would be at this point. A few players that probably are going to be on the move. Juarez is a perfect example. Fazzini as well. Josh King, we're trying to loan him out. We do have a bid in on Egan Riley that has not yet gone through, so he's going to be out of the matchday squad as well. Kavlina is going to be making his debut in goal for us. We're going to have a back four of Guest, Aka Holman, Matty Pollock, and Daniil Denisov. Matty Pollock also no longer the captain of the squad. That honor belongs to Antonio Blanco, who is going to be at the base of the midfield next to Craig Ross. Daro Conde is going to be starting this one on the bench. We want to see if Ross pays the dividends as a permanent member of the Fulham side that he did last year when on loan with Everton. Marco Morales is going to be pivoting in between the midfield lines. On the attack is going to be Guerrero, Burford, and Melvin Costa will be leading the line, his first start at striker. We knew heading into the season there would be changes. Now, with the moves we made, we are now as high as 10th in the media predictions. We're hoping that we don't have to make any systematic changes. Costa is going to have to get used to being in that striker position. The best way for him to do that is to actually get game time. So here we are. And 15 minutes in, nary a goal yet. Caden Young and Antonio Blanco have each been booked for either side. And here we go. A bit of a kick clash, in my personal opinion. I mean, I know it in reality isn't, but to my aging eyes, this ain't the easiest thing to pick out. Boyoma looking to move it ahead. Torres for Willock. Southampton moving it forward. Moving it to the outside. Willock still with the ball into the middle. And it's going to find Caden Young on the far post. He is going to score. Is there going to be any VAR review? I don't think so. That ball went through a ton of bodies on its way in. Willock took it in pretty deep. He had a defender in front of him. Yeah, that got through Pollock, Jorginho, a bunch of guys, like 4 or 5 could have put their foot on it. But it was Young putting it home for Southampton. And in our Premier League debut, we are already down 1-0 in the first half. So we are going to shout some encouragement to our team. Morales throwing it in. Pollock with the header off of the corner kick is going to just miss that one wide. A beautiful opportunity. Nice delivery from Marco Morales. Guess to throw it in. Ross will leave it back for Blanco. I think I'm just not used to seeing Fulham in the black kits. Maybe that's what it is. Blanco near side. Denisov can't get it past Gutierrez, who will drop it back for Bazunu to get things restarted. The Southampton keeper laying it out to his defense. All back for him. Sagnan for Gutierrez along the near side. And here comes Southampton moving it up. They're taking it wide. Now, we do play a bit of a narrow system, if you remember. We do regain control. Denisov playing it ahead. He's got Guerrero deep. Guerrero's in. Guerrero shoots. And Federico Guerrero scores his first goal of the year, getting things started for Fulham. We've equalized this one at 1, and it was Daniil Denisov getting the ball along the near sideline to the midfield stripe, lofting it ahead, playing little Route 1 football, hoofing it, and Guerrero chasing it down, beating Bazunu. 1-1 is your score, and I think that is where we are most likely going to end up at the end of this first half. 5 shots to 8 in favor of Fulham. Southampton enjoying 53% of the possession. They're winning the XG battle. They are not, however, winning the game. That is tied at 1. Well, if it ain't completely broke, don't fix it. So we have made no alterations to the lineup as we make our way into the second half. Although I think we are going to try to get a look at some other guys as we move forward. Burford having a okay game. Costa obviously needs a little bit more adjustment in the position, so he's probably not going to be out there much longer. He's doing okay. Nothing exactly thrilling to write home about. So we're actually going to bring in Gabriel Amaya. That was that young striker that I was alluding to. Zidkega Chandler is going to also come in place of Tom Burford. And 2 alterations to be made with a little over 20 minutes remaining in the match. I think Ross is going to make his way out as well. We'll see what happens. Chandler delivers it in. Ross back for Chandler. Ross corner of the box. Guest will retreat. He's got a man to his left. It's Antonio Blanco. Blanco back for Guest. Works it to Ross. Ross from range, and Bazunu making a save on it, knocking that behind. It will be a corner kick opportunity for Fulham here in the 73rd minute. Morales looking to deliver. Been pretty good on those corners so far. Can't connect with Matty Pollock, though. And it's going to be cleared by Southampton. Chased down by Malumbi. Guerrero's going to take him out along the far sideline. He's down. Injured, I think. A free kick has been awarded. Daniil Denisov is a little bit tired. We're going to move Guest on over to the right side while bringing in Harvey Vale on the left. And Craig Ross will be replaced by Dare Akande, who's going to just swap positions with Antonio Blanco. Blanco going onto the left-hand side in that playmaker role. Akande in the more defensive posture. We're going to encourage our team a little bit more. We've got 5 minutes left. I mean, if we come away with a draw, it would be basically the same result that we had after regulation in last year's FA Cup. Obviously, we did not score again. Neither did they in extra time. It took penalty shootouts where we were victorious. We are not victorious today, however, getting a point in our first match back in the Premier League. Sheffield United in their first game lost by 4 to Man City. They are coming into Craven Cottage. It is our home debut. A couple of changes to be made. Shavlina is going to remain in goal. It will be a back 4 of Harvey Vale. Alka Holman. Guest is going to slide into the center back position for this one. And Daniil Denisov is going to be on the right-hand side. Now, Antonio Blanco did pick up a little knock during training, so he's going to be on the bench, not really match fit. So it's going to be Dare Akande alongside Craig Ross with Marco Morales. I flip-flopped Guerrero and Burford in their 2 roles in the attacking midfield. And Amaya is going to be making his first start ever, well, not counting the preseason, of course, in the Fulham colors as our striker. Now, Melvin Costa is on the bench. As we talked about a little bit earlier in this episode, he is primarily a right winger. We're trying to teach him to be a striker. We may have to look at a potential change of shape in order to best use him in a role that best suits him. By the way, we have a kickoff highlight, and Sheffield United is in control. We are favored to win, but not by a whole heck of a lot. And they're enjoying all of the possession in this first 30 seconds, but it is all happening in the middle third. Terzic for Neal, looking to pass it forward, but Burford steps in front of that one. Amaya with it. He's playing kind of a deep-lying role. Think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but with less injuries. Throwing ahead. Oh, Guerrero is in. He tries to chip on Woodman, but Woodman holds his position and is able to make a fairly routine save when all was said and done. Nice ball forward to Guerrero. I think if he just took one more touch, maybe a second to take a deep breath, look at what was ahead of him, we could have been up 1-0. Shot in off of the corner. Lovato is going to head that one wide, and it's going to skim off of the net and out. Bichiabu, though, with a long throw in, getting it back from Parrott. Bichiabu. Raul Moro, Capiello, Bichiabu, back for Terzic. Bichiabu, and once again, Sheffield is ceding position on the pitch and turning it over in the midfield. Marco Morales has it. He's got a ton of guys forward. Guerrero now with it. Will feed it out on the left wing side for Vale. toward the edge of the box. Vale has a man on him. It's Elia. Ross in for Guerrero, and his shot is going to rocket wide. And another missed opportunity by Federico Guerrero. I'm not going to get too much on this case. We have scored once so far this year in the first 114 minutes of this match, and it was a shot from Federico Guerrero. So if you've got our only goal, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. Nice cross by Denisov. There's Guerrero. It's his second. He knew I was talking smack about him. Running toward the far post, Denisov with his second assist of the year. They're really turning into quite the pair, aren't they? And I feel a little bit bad now because Guest was kind of brought in to potentially be a replacement for Daniil Denisov, who had a great year last year, 14 assists. He added 5 goals. He's got 2 assists already early on in this one. Vale can't get it past the defender, Amaya. Vale flipping it far post. Parrott is going to clear it. Ilia's got it. I'm going to go with Ilia rather than Elia. I think Elia is patently incorrect. Elia into the box. Denisov is going to settle that down. Shavlina, I think that's how we're going to pronounce his name. Shavlina out for Vale. Near the midfield stripe, Guerrero works past one man. Can he get past the other? He's going to dish it off to Ross instead, moving it to his right. Ahead for Tom Burford. Back to the goal. Feeds Denisov. Denisov back post for Amaya. Just a little bit too much power behind that headed attempt as it sails out into the stands and will end the Fulham attack. 1-0 Fulham is your score here at Craven Cottage. The home opener for Fulham, and Sheffield in danger of going down 2-0 in the match and losing their first 2 matches of the year as Burford leaves it for Akonde. Forward into the middle. Morales, he puts a shot on. It was a great move, but it was deflected out behind for a corner kick. Even better defense than the offensive move. Vale delivering the corner kick. Woodman is going to come off his line near the 6-yard box and grab that one out of the air and stop any further Fulham attack. But Guerrero hitting the post on the free kick. Guest unable to pull the trigger off of the rebound. Sheffield United does clear it. It will go out for a Fulham throw. That's going to do it for the first half. Lots of activity for Fulham. 14 shots on goal. Sheffield only managing 2. And they really didn't have anything after the early going. It was all Fulham. Possession was split. Sheffield passing the ball around a lot, but unable to really get out of their own end and make any inroads. So Fulham, off of the goal-scoring effort of Federico Guerrero, lead this one 1-0. It is early doors, as they say, so we are going to be keeping an eye on the match fitness of our squad. Make sure that we're rotating guys in and out, not putting too much undue pressure on any player. We have a very young squad. The average age is 25. The oldest player is Kovacevic, who is our backup goalkeeper. So most of our team doesn't really fit in that seasoned category as far as experience. We have a lot of guys in their prime. We have a lot of guys that are up-and-comers, but really, when it comes to those like old hands at the game, they're just really not around. Guest is going to slide out, and Denisov is going to make way to Reese Williams. We're also Aka Homan is going to cede his position to Glenn Allen, who is going to make his season debut, and Craig Ross will allow Antonio Blanco to come in and play a couple of minutes at the end. We'll make these 4 changes with about 20 minutes left to go. I feel very formulaic when I talk about making the changes. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions on things I can say to kind of transition back into the game. Vale playing it forward. He's got Fazzini. Jacopo Fazzini just newly into the game in the middle for Guerrero. And all of Fulham's scoring this year has been off of the right foot of Federico Guerrero. Well, he may have headed one in, but you get what I'm saying. His 3rd goal of the year, his 2nd on the night. This time, Vale playing it ahead for Fazzini. Makes a great dribble, pushes it past the one man into the middle. Guerrero pots it home past Woodman, who I think was anticipating him to go kind of across the goal, but instead looked at the near post delivery and put it home. Corner kick can't be handled by Fulham. Played out. Akande with it ahead for Guest. He's got his back to the goal, so he's going to retreat it to Williams, who ultimately will just play it right back to his goalkeeper. He did not really see a good pass toward Allen. Guerrero moving it to his right. He finds Guest in the middle. Akande. Blanco shooting. And Blanco is usually so very good from just outside the box, but this time just a wee bit too strong on that delivery. Guerrero on the corner. He's been working on those. Unable to handle it is the Fulham offense, but Vale is going to recover the clearance. Guerrero's got it now. Up that left wing side, just outside the box. Playing it back for Vale. Blanco's got it. Across to Akande, moving it deeper. Akande shoots, hits the crossbar, and Raul Moro is going to play that out. Vale gets pushed down. The whistle has blown. It's going to be a foul against Sheffield United. Will it be a penalty? It will not. It looks like it occurred outside of the box, but that does mean a dangerous free kick from just outside the 18-yard box that we're obviously not going to see as Fulham looks to move it back up. Just 4 minutes remaining of the original 90. Reece Williams with it. To his right, he's got Guest with some space ahead, moving it left. Amaya feeds Fazzini. Fazzini is in. He beats Woodman, and Jacopo Fazzini becomes the first Fulham player not named Federico Guerrero to score this year. It's his first of the season. We may be moving him on. He, again, is kind of a depth player for us at this point. We have a couple of guys injured. We've got ones on the bench that maybe are leaving, such as Daniel Juarez. We've got a couple of loan offers being negotiated for him right now. Of course, loans with a potential future fee. As a minute left in added time, Sheffield trying to get on the scoreboard, and they do. It's Ryan Brewster launching it from about 22 yards out. He's the first one able to solve Shavlina in this match. Still, Fulham is going to win. It's 3-1. There is very little time left, but you cannot deny that effort by Brewster. That was a beautiful, beautiful goal. It's just a shame we gave it up. 25-6, your shots on goal. In the end, it was all Fulham. 3-1 is your final score. We take all 3 points in our home debut of the season, and 4 points on the year after 2. That ain't so bad, considering it took us like 10 matches to get 4 points the last time we were in the Premier League. And those 4 points are good enough to put us at the top of the table, at least for now. Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, they all won their first match. They've got 3 points, and of course, they all have a game in hand on us. We've got some big matches coming up. In fact, Newcastle is up next on our schedule. Then we've got Walsall away in the Carabao Cup second round. We're not going to bother with that necessarily. I think we're going to come back for the trip to Bramley Moor Dock on September the 9th to take on Everton. Hopefully we can get a little bit of revenge. We lost 4-1, I believe, last time we were in the building. And then we are hosting Manchester United, the team that knocked us out of the Carabao Cup last year. This is a league match, of course. Hopefully we make it on to round 3 of the Carabao Cup as well. FA Cup, that doesn't come until January. We will worry about that later. Thank you so very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this. Make sure you hit that like button. Help us out and support the channel. Also, make sure that you subscribe because it doesn't cost you anything, and that helps too. And make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when the next episode of Bottom to the Top is coming out. I hope to see you then. It's going to be tomorrow. It will be tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.